Hi, Dion from Eflowtion Support Services here. And if you're dealing with abandonment issues, perhaps from past trauma where we may have received neglect when we were growing up, we can be left with a sense of feeling alone and rejected and almost feeling like we're not good enough, which can affect our relationships and can also affect our emotions quite intensely. So let's do an EFT tapping on abandonment issues to reduce some of this and create a bit of safety for ourselves within. So taking full responsibility for your own well-being and repeating after me. Let's go with the flow. Let's begin to tap. Even though I'm dealing with abandonment issues, and there are people in my life that I deeply fear might leave me because I feel that I'm not enough. And I fear that they might see this and leave me as a person and leave me with these abandonment wounds. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself, even though I might have people in my life, but I might get jealous when I see them interacting with other people. And there is a part of myself that is preparing to leave them before they can leave me. Or at least that's how I perceive it. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself, even though I can get quite angry sometimes around these feelings of when my needs were not met by people or a person in my life. And that just doesn't feel good within myself. And I want to get back to feeling good within myself. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. All these wounds, all these abandonment wounds, where I feel like I'm just not enough. Just not enough in another person's eyes. Or at least that's how I see it. And there are people in my life who I see give love and acceptance to others. And I get really jealous about that. I have some strong feelings within myself. And I might get angry towards the other person, for whom the person I care about is showing someone else love and acceptance. And I feel a strong reflection upon myself, where I fear that they might leave me. And I feel anger towards the person they're showing love and affection towards. Because why can't they show that to me? There's simply not enough to go around. And the more that they see another person, the less that they'll see me. The me that I feel is not enough. And I might get angry towards the other person. And I might get angry towards the person who shows me love and acceptance. Because I just know, based upon old experiences, that sooner or later they'll leave me. They're going to reject me, and I'll be left alone again. So it's better to destroy this loving relationship before it destroys me again. And I have to let it go and deal with this grief of someone who loved and accepted me. But I had to preempt this rejection and leave them first. I had to keep myself safe by rejecting them before they can reject me. And I feel very angry towards this because I felt like I found a person who could love and accept me for who I was. And it feels like I've been starved for love for so long that when I find this care and acceptance, it's kind of like walking through a desert and finally finding that oasis. And I get deeply intoxicated within this and only want that love and acceptance for myself. And I drown myself within it. And I sometimes forget that other people might take part in this oasis. So it's better to starve myself than to share this love and acceptance. All this fear of rejection, all the fear of what might happen, all this neglect, all this neglect, all this fear of abandonment. I may have received love at some stage of my life. And when I received it, it was like going for a war. And all the battles that I had to go through to be seen in someone else's eyes, who really beat me down, who really made me feel the worst for myself, that when I received that love and acceptance, it was something foreign to me, but something that felt good. And I held on to this. And I kind of felt like I was enough in that person's eyes, if not for a fleeting moment. And when I wasn't enough, I distanced myself from this pain. And I abandoned. And I felt abandoned. I felt like I just wasn't enough. Just not enough to receive love and acceptance. Consistently and all the time. To know that I was enough. And that I didn't have to go through all this stuff. All this pain and anguish. To get that moment of goodness. And to know that I was good in someone else's eyes. All this fear of rejection. All this wanting to hold on to that good stuff. All this anger and shame that I feel. All this intense feeling when I see someone else interact with someone that I care about, because I fear that they'll take it away. Take away that one person. He makes me feel good inside. It makes me feel good about myself. And maybe, just maybe, I can be open to the possibility that I'm good enough for myself, and that I can accept myself for who I am. And I don't have to reject myself and all the shame that I feel and all this intense emotion by looking outside for that acceptance, when I can deal with all this neglect from the inside. All this neglect, I'm open to the possibility that this starvation of love and acceptance that I've received throughout my life was from a form of neglect of it. And like a starving person, I feast upon the scraps that I get as if it's a full meal. But I'm looking on the inside now of all these abandonment wounds, these issues that have shown up in so many relationships. And I'm starting to mend this so that I feel enough within my own eyes, that I don't have to perfect myself to be something for someone, that I don't have to go through all these changings of myself. I can rather accept myself instead. All this rejection that I've had to go through. Not everyone is out there to get me. I'm here for myself. I'm accepting of love for myself, and knowing that it's not just another form of abuse for another person to hurt me. So I need to run from it first. All these familiar patterns, all these things that I thought were protecting me, or all these survival mechanisms, where there might be some good people out there that don't follow those same patterns. And perhaps the one person that doesn't need to follow these patterns is myself. All these past patterns of hurt, all the sense of rejection that I give others, I can start to move into acceptance of myself. I am perfect within my own eyes, and I am deserving of love from myself. I'm breaking the patterns of my past. I may have been neglected in the past, but I don't want to neglect myself of love in the future. especially from myself. I want to feel full and complete within myself. I want to feel like an addition to someone's life rather than being dependent upon their love and acceptance. I want to feel fulfilled within myself, full of self-love, self-acceptance, and self-compassion. All these abandonment issues, all the stress within my life. I'm recognizing this anger. I'm recognizing this shame that I feel towards others. I'm healing this within myself. Within every fiber of my being, I'm accepting of myself. Within every fiber of my being, I'm letting the old patterns of the pain heal, and forming new patterns within myself. All these trust issues. I'm forming some trust within myself first, so that I can trust others. All the sense of rejection. I'm moving into acceptance of myself, so I don't have to form dependence upon others. And all these old wounds of the past, I'm resolving and dissolving and moving into acceptance in mind, body, and spirit. And taking a full breath in and out. Yes, abandonment issues. It's something that does show up after trauma, where we feel that we weren't enough, and definitely when we get something that feels loving and accepting, we want to cling on to. We want to form almost a dependence to, which is kind of weaning ourselves off that and getting back into a completion of ourselves, so we feel more fulfilled within ourselves, so we don't feel like we're a bother to other people, for example. So I'm Dion from Eflowtion Support Services. I offer EFT Tapping one-on-one online, so check out eflowtionsupportservices.com, where you can go a little bit further into some of the issues that we've touched upon. And check out the intro offer, where you get intro half, where you get the first 2 sessions at half price, so you can ease your way in before going into a full host of sessions. So check out eflowtionsupportservices.com. And thank you also to this suggestion or inquiry in whether we had an EFT tapping session on abandonment issues, which surprisingly we didn't until now. So thanks again to the tappers of this channel for raising that inquiry. So until the next one, bye for now.